All right, stand by. Roll sound.
Speed.
Roll camera.
Reading.
Slate.
Scene 1, take 1. Mark.
And action. Hey everybody, welcome to Burnie's Applebox, Friday at 2 o'clock. Here we are once again at the old Applebox here in my studio, Dot Lot Studios. And today, a little special show today. So today I've got my main man right here, Nick Branstetter. Hey Nick, how
How's
you
it going?
doing? Nick is going to do a little different thing. We're going to talk together today and discuss this show, the Applebox. We have been doing it now, Nick, since when did we, in January did we start?
We started doing this, I think, in January. Yeah, it's been a subtotal of 13 or 14 shows, I think.
Yeah, okay, very good. We've been doing it, and it's really been a grand experiment. I know we started off doing the radio show at Friday at 2 o'clock, and of course we Facebook Live that. Then I got the idea of, well, there's other things I want to do in this show because we are a visual medium and I want to show things. So we just conspired in almost a week to set this up. And
and that's been 7 weeks ago.
7 weeks ago. And it seems like, forever, doesn't it? It seems like a long time.
It consumes you.
Of course, anything in this business we're in, which is just day to day, if you do something for a week, it seems like you've worked there forever, right?
Right. And I've been working for you since November. So
yes,
imagine
since
how
November.
I feel.
Since November, yeah. Nick came on. Nick is really one of my first full-time people helping me. It's always been sort of a one-man band, and it's been an extreme, extreme help. And originally, we ran into the Applebox idea. A guy named Paul Roberts has OC Talk Radio down here, and I met Paul, and he told me about his business model and what he does, and I just loved the idea.
It's fantastic.
It is really, really smart, and it's about everything that you have going on today and what you need. You need content for the social media. You need all sorts of things that are always happening. You want people to be immediately, satisfied with them knowing the knowledge. So I had these podcasts, and I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. The podcast will do that. And went in there, had a great time, had some great guests, and I know you got the guest names. We'll go over those and talk about each of them. But in doing that, got a great response, got great feedback. And I looked at this and I looked at the assets that we had. And then I had yourself, I have Travis Thomas, Hunter Rogers. These guys all came together. I go, guys, here's what I want to do. I want to do a 3-camera shoot. I want to do a regular, just like 3-camera TV show. Put it up and do an interview thing. Because for one real reason was it that really pushed me into it was Greg Flores has his site out now, Grip Support, and I wanted to show the site as well as do other things. I wanted to show other videos and stuff. So these guys all got together and, gosh, in the course of a week, you guys built the computer. We ordered all the stuff off Amazon, the tripods, the cameras, everything we needed, and boom. That Friday, we had Greg on. We had a show.
Yeah, and myself and Hunter Rogers, we've done a lot of live events, so we've done some streaming stuff before. So it wasn't something that's completely unfamiliar to us, but, when you're in a big show, there's a lot of different places that, a mistake can fall on. It's not all on you. But when you have a small show like this and you're building a system from the ground up, I mean, every single mistake is yours.
Yes.
So you have to just be super meticulous about everything you do.
Yes. And I thought you guys did an awesome job. And really the best way to think about this is sort of, we're really doing this as an experiment and have been doing as an experiment. So every show I looked as like, well, there's going to be mistakes. I'm going to live with it, which is not something I had to kind of teach myself there. I'm not real forgiving of myself if it's not absolutely perfect. And of course it never is. So I'm kind of going through a constant battle with that. But I decided on this. It was new enough, we were learning enough. And I thought, too, I could be someone who maybe helps all of us is define this medium of social media.
Sure, yeah.
And how you take a show like this and put it in a TV format. And that's one thing, Nick, I know we've talked about, but is I look at this as social media. I do not look at this as a television show.
Yeah, and it really isn't.
It really isn't.
It really isn't.
And it may appear that way to the viewer, but from our side of the fence, it's really social media. You're putting it in a television show format, but it really acts like social media.
Yeah, and there's some definite benefits to this in the sense that television doesn't have the immediacy that this does. We have people who comment on our shows, they ask us questions, and we can respond to them live.
Right.
And you can't do that on a TV show. It's either pre-recorded or it's put up at a time that, you know, not everybody can actually sit there and watch it. And then, you know, at the same time, too, you just don't have the ability to interact with it that you do right here.
Right. And I think about accessibility, too. You know, we all can, you know, time shift our programs at home and everything.
Yeah.
Well, social media automatically does that for you. It's right there on your timeline. You can go to it anytime.
You could TiVo the show and watch it later, but it's on Facebook. You could watch this whenever you want to.
Whenever you want to, whenever you have the few minutes and watch a piece of it and go back, or, you know, take you know, if you got a little train trip or something, you can watch the whole show.
You got a flight. It's really easy, too, to pick it up and put it down and pick it up and put it down. It's on your phone. You know, you could have it prepped or saved, and it's not like you have to actually have a television set and a TiVo or whatever program you use to record.
And once again, it's back to a social media model, and that's what is so exciting to me about this is that it's better than TV. It's better than the other mediums. You know, you have it. Also, I've taken the show, I put it on my Twitter, I put it on my LinkedIn. People watch the show from there. And that's really, you know, what we've talked about is that's really what excites me is the potential for something like this. And this is something that we're exploring, too, as a business model. We think there's certain people out there, and I don't think it's for everyone, but there's certain people out there that can use production value like we're producing here, and that has a much higher level.
Well, and generally the one thing that social media doesn't have that television has is the production value.
Yes.
And if you look at a majority of Facebook videos, what do you see? It's a person holding a phone. It's a selfie. It's very simple. It's mobile. It's not, you know, 3 cameras lighting on a stage.
Yeah.
That does exist in places, but
not in
any mass way.
You know, I look at Mashable, I look at Huffington Post, I look at Variety, and several others, you know what I mean, that are out there doing this on a fairly regular basis. It's still one camera looking at a couch.
And, you know, and I've done some shoots, a variety of different shoots with a couple different news groups, and even for the news groups who pride themselves on this production value, it's still a phone. They still interview someone on Snapchat or they interview someone on Instagram, and it's still some person holding a phone. You know, when they do social media like this.
Right, and I see very few, some of course, but very few actually integrating everything that you can in a television format. Like we have done picture-in-picture here. We have run B-roll, which everybody assumes like, oh, yeah, you should be able to do that. It's a no-brainer. It's not a no-brainer. You've got to be very careful.
Yeah, there's a process.
It's a process. Yeah. It's a process. Nothing is a no-brainer when you are on that side of the camera, the other side of the camera. So you've got to get it right. But just like that, showing pictures, you know what I mean? Being able to do that. We did a remote with Bill Hoshovnikov the other day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Offset. So there are so many things you can do with this medium right here. It's really very exciting. And we were all very excited to bring this up to the next step, the next level, and show what you could do here.
Well, there's a certain level of excitement, too. This is fun.
Oh, I mean, it's very
exciting. Cool to be able to know that you can push it this far. You know, it's interesting to think about the future and where that may go.
Exactly.
But doing this and being in the hot seat and running the show, there's a certain level of excitement that you don't get from just holding a phone.
Yes, and I think every show we've been excited that we're going to do this time. We took every show and we tried to take a step up.
Yeah, we always try and push it and try to do the next thing and say, hey, can we do this? And let's try it. And even if we totally bomb and fail, we still tried it.
Yeah. And we kind of bombed and failed a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, but we ended up getting the show on pretty close to 2:00 most of the time.
Yeah, pretty consistently.
Pretty close to
Yeah.
2. But so it's been, some gut-wrenching times too, but it's been a lot of fun and great. And we're gonna tell you a little later about what's coming up with Applebox and do all that, in the future here. We've got some ideas. But I think just back to the social media aspect and where we're all going. Right now, social media, and I'm always sort of when I say social media, I'm sort of in my head using Facebook as the reference point. There's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's all sorts of other sites.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
But Facebook, to me, is the big kahuna. That's what everything kind of bounces off. It's got, 1.6 billion users, theoretically.
Yeah, one out of every 7 people on Earth use it.
Okay. So there's the link to your biggest office or audience, excuse me. But because of that, that's what we wanted to focus on, and we wanted to see what we could do here, how far we could push it up. And another thing, you mentioned it, but let me just tell you right now, please, anybody, any questions, please ask. And guys back there on the desk, make sure that you come up with anything if anybody has a question. And if they don't have a question, fake it. Make up your own question and ask me like somebody's actually watching.
Yeah, please don't make the guys back there.
There's a TV trick I learned last week. So, what has been your take on this, Nick? I know you've seen it from a different perspective than mine. What has it been like for you?
Well, social media as a general is a much more approachable format. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think there's ever been anything in human history that's connected people so adequately. I mean, so well. And it's interesting because this kind of production value and this kind of thing should be standard. I mean, at the end of the day, this is an endeavor that can be done, and you don't need to own, a CBS to do it.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing about this and the nicest thing about it is at the end of the day, we have people who can, text in and say, hey, listen, I'd really like to ask you this question about this, and we can answer that to you. There's an immediacy to it that I love, and there's just that separation. It's intimate. It's not, there's no barrier between us and the audience. We can speak directly to them, and they can speak directly to us, and I think that's been great. As for the whole show, I think it's fantastic. I mean, we're trying to push it and push it and push it and see what we can do with it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think this is really foreground of what you can do with a lot of social media.
I think that we are at the point of the spear.
Yeah, we're very vanguard.
Yeah, as far as what this is. This is not difficult to do. There will be many more people doing it. And I come back to something, too, which I've said for years. Anybody who knows me has heard it too many times. My poor wife I'm thinking of right now.
Poor Rife.
But production value equals product value.
Oh, yeah.
And I live, eat, drink, and die by that statement right there. And if you've got something that you're selling, high-end real estate, exercise, if you've got something that has to do with lifestyle, food, certainly, nutrition, any of those things, that can use other means, like you cut to B-roll, showing things, showing how something's used. This is the format to use.
Yeah, and
this is the format.
Absolutely, and I think if anything, social media has democratized the creation of content. I mean, there are feature films that have been shot on an iPhone now.
Yeah, even Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw a horror film on Snapchat. Yeah, I mean, it's just in 15-second pieces. Yeah, but anybody can get up and go and do content,
and those just demonstrate the possibilities of what you can do.
Yeah, there's no one studio or one person or one place holding power anymore. It's very spread out. Now there's good and bad to that.
Okay, I think we got a question here. What do we got?
First question comes from Art Kirsch, and he says, "Cut to the chase. Explain what equipment you are using."
Art. Grasshopper, you'll have to snatch the pebble from my hand before I answer that.
Want to know all of our secrets?
Okay, go ahead.
He also just said, also stuff you used and abandoned and why.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Run through what we've got here just quickly, Nick.
Well, we're using a custom-built computer that we have set up with a couple monitors. We use Livestream as a program to record and switch. We do have a couple downstream monitors. The cameras are mostly Panasonic, mainly because we had a Panasonic before that we're very happy with.
There was a real good reason we matched that.
Yeah, and it did everything that we wanted to.
Right.
We generally light with Kino flows. The background's lit with a Select 30 and a Sky panel and then a 5K. So there's a nice little variety in the back there. You know, as for stuff we've used and we've abandoned, we had some Black Magic products that we've used. I think it was just ease of use. I've used Livestream for a long time for a lot of different shows and for a lot of different events, and I know it like the back of my hand. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I really couldn't tell you at the end of the day, but
we chose essentially the live stream over Blackmagic.
Yeah, and it's like social media. It's about the approachability of it, and if I can walk in and use it, and it's, you know, it takes a certain skill set, but I've built that over the past few years, and I know how to do it, so it's my go-to.
Yeah, and tell me how we're using Teradek.
Yeah, Teradek's actually fantastic. They have a device called the Video Pro, and it's actually designed to be put on a camera, and you can run and gun, and you can go straight to Facebook from a camera feed, HDMI or SDI camera feed out. And we're actually using it as our encoder. So instead of having to use the live stream program to encode, we're actually using Teradek. And they just go straight to Facebook. I mean, we send them the mixed feed of what we're doing and everything that we've got going on, and they put it right up on Facebook, and we hit start and stop, and it works great.
Yeah. And we've had a few disasters here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which we can't exactly define where the weak link is. You know, what I will say is I think Facebook Live is still in beta for Facebook, too. I don't think they would actually take issue with that. You know,
for sure.
They're working on it. Things are changing there, too. And, you know, what amazes me, too, just to kind of cut off the trail here a little bit, but is Facebook. Facebook fascinates me. It fascinates me. It's gotten so huge, yet think of what they do.
Yeah.
Think of what they do worldwide. And with very little, if you were to take it and just say, I mean, very little problems.
Well, and I think that's the amazing part about a lot of social media, too. People don't understand what it is, but they use it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and Facebook, if you break it apart, is actually fairly simplistic. It's not a complicated thing to use, but it's very powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Amazon or Netflix or any of those are really just storage devices. It's a server that just holds that stuff, and you can pull it down when you're ready to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay, we got another question, I think.
Yes, this question's from Sandra, and she asks, what do you see for the future of social media?
Oh, boy, there's a biggie. Boy, you know, bringing us all together, maybe even closer than we want to be. You know,
yeah, I agree.
I was an international man of mystery for 40 years until Facebook came along. Then everybody knows what I've had for breakfast, you know.
Yeah, we're very quickly moving out of that day and age in which people are going to have a problem with every single person knowing every single thing about them.
Yeah.
And with generations that are being born today and being raised today, it's not even an issue. You know, my generation is completely different.
A given.
You know,
you know what, for just about everybody, and certainly there are people in my age space that are not on it or doing, but now it's a given.
Yeah.
You know, and also I think, you know, this is, we think, especially somebody my age, we think social media as a thing over here, separate from this thing over here. You know, I'm really starting to think I'm going to see that total integration of social media in everything.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's linked in some way to almost everything that you're doing.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways it is. If you go on, you know, Vimeo or YouTube, you can hit a button to drop menu, and then I want to share this to Facebook immediately. I want to share this to here, and you know, everything's very well integrated. You go to people's websites, and they have the little widgets, so you can just click on it and see all of their social media stuff.
Right.
And I think that's not going to change. It's going to increase. You know?
I think, what was that, Hunter? Give me that. Okay, great. I think, too, and we're going to be right back. We're going to have a commercial here, but let me say just before we go to it, I don't think that we've even seen the beginning of social media yet. We are in the infancy of social media right now. It has a long way to grow and will go a long way. So, but I think we're going to take a quick commercial right now, so we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Burnie. I own Burnie's Grip and Lighting, San Diego Grip and Lighting, and Los Angeles Grip and Lighting. You know, we pride ourselves on not only renting you the best equipment, but also giving you the best crews. And one of our core values here at Burnie's Grip and Lighting is that we give you the highest production value in the world. And remember, people used to say national, local. No, we present world-class production value on every set. We also know budgets are very tight these days, and you've got 10 hours to get what you need in the can. We move ahead, we move fast, and we know what you need. When you rent from Burnie's Grip and Lighting, you have a partner on your production for that day that is making sure you are well taken care of. So anytime you're in Southern California, give us a call at 714-609-3545, and we'll take very good care of you. See you on set. Hi, this is Burnie, owner of Burnie's Grip and Lighting, and I'm also the manager here at Dot Lot Stages. Dot Lot Stages I've been shooting at for over the last 10 years. We have two stages. We have a 20 by 23 foot full body green screen room. We also have what's behind me, which is a 30 by 40 foot white cyc stage. It's lit by 6 2K space lights. All of the lighting for the green screen and white cyc comes pre-lit. Now, the price for the stage is $1,000 for 11 hours, and that comes with a stage manager and 600 amps of power. Now, how I'm going to get the word out, and this is for my friends who've used Burnie's Grip and Lighting before and my Facebook friends, is that if you rent the stage and you rent my 3-ton stage package, which includes a full tungsten package with chimera, all the distribution, all of the grip and stands, and everything else you need, I will give you the stage at half price. So what that means is you'll get the stage and the grip and lighting package for $1,100. That's only $100 more than the stage would have cost itself. It's a great deal, and I'm doing this because I want to keep my stage working and keep it busy. So give me a call at 714-609-3545. That's 714-609-3545. I'll see you on set. Hey everybody, how you doing? We're back with Burnie's Applebox, and I think we got another question, right, Travis?
Yeah, Art is asking, how much is a 30-second spot?
Ah, very good. You know, have not established that. I just put those questions in there, or those ads in there just a couple shows ago. And just because we had them, we wanted to kind of give it more of a feel, you know, of a show and break it up a little bit. We were sitting out here for an hour, and you know, it's not a normal environment. Let's just put it that way. You know, we were out here, so I haven't really decided what that is going to be. But that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah, you know, too, and we had a viewer. We're from Kuwait.
That is correct. We have a viewer from Kuwait.
Kuwait. Well, hello, Kuwait. Thanks to have you on board. And you know what? This is something I wanted to talk to you too, Nick, and you know this, but to tell the viewers why I started this show. Why did I pick this format and I talked to the people who I talked to? I think if you've watched the show at all, you haven't seen any names here. Who you have seen are my friends and people who I know, who I'm very impressed with, and I've worked with them either maybe not directly, maybe over the phone, like I'm thinking of Amanda Eccles.
Oh yeah, Amanda from Airstar.
At Airstar Balloon, who was very professional. I was very impressed by her. I asked her to be on the show to talk about Airstar and come on because of her professionalism, you know. And I've just had regular people, my contemporaries, come on because I'm so impressed with them. You know, I was just going back when I didn't get into this business until I was 40. I was a $50 a day, 40-year-old PA, and I had worked in lots of different businesses. I was pretty familiar with the business, not business world maybe, but manufacturing, you know, producing items, managing people, you know, doing all of those things. And, you know, most people have to be motivated, and then you kind of get, you know, some motivation out of them, not 100%. When I intersected production back in the day, I could not believe the amount of motivated people I was meeting, and positive, and could pull it off, and would wade into things that they didn't know about, but find a solution and make it work fast in many cases, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I had never been, and I was 40, I had never been around that type of people. And they weren't organized in a single unit, like a single company or anything. They were all individuals. They were freelancers, completely new world to me. Well, that at 40 years old and a $50 a day PA, that inspired me to be more like that. That was it. I saw something and I thought, man, that's awesome. These people hustle. They're out here doing it. No one has to tell them what to do. They're thinking of what to do.
Yeah, there's a real great intensity on a film set, and there's a lot of energy.
Lots of energy.
It is
yes.
very infectious.
And people know their stuff, and they're pulling it off pretty seamlessly many times, you know, making it look like it's not that difficult when in fact it's very difficult.
Oh yeah, and it teeters on the edge. I mean, it's always one step away.
Because in our industry, we're always pushing the envelope, you know, and sometimes it can tear, like I say, but we're always pushing the envelope. So very impressed with that, and that began a fascination of what people do in this industry for me. So I fell into grip and lighting and loved it. You know, once I started looking through the monitor and realized what you could do, how things could change, how different it was, and I light to feel, I don't light to see. So I light from a point of like, I want you to feel something when you look at that picture. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't, but
sometimes they feel something that you don't want them to feel.
That's what I want them to
that's
feel.
how it
Yeah,
works.
and some people get it and some people don't.
Sure.
So,
It's not for everybody.
No. So those are the people that excite me. Those are still the people that excite me today. So you haven't seen me try to go out and get James Cameron or Roger Dinkins or some big name on here. It's been people that I know that I'm impressed with, that I really like. And that is exactly who we've had on the show, almost every single case. And I'll tell you, you out there in Kuwait, if you're in the production industry, and I'm going to suspect you probably are, or you wouldn't be watching this show, or just curious maybe, you know, but you run into the same exact problems on set that I run into here in Southern California. They're no different. I remember one time, my wife is Turkish, and I was over in Turkey, and I was in Istanbul, and I was visiting a big studio. Guy had trucks, 3 big stages out there. He just did a lot of work. We sat down. He spoke excellent English, by the way, and we sat down and talked, comparing notes, U.S. to Turkey, every time. It was the same thing. Oh, you know, producers, they're cutting their pay. You know, oh, they don't want to pay overtime. Oh, they keep hitting me up for more equipment than they can afford. You know, it was every single thing, right? No difference. You know what I mean? Hey, they didn't give the guys a break. You know what I mean? They got to have a break. Hey, we can't work them 16 hours. They got to be off at 12. Everything was the same.
It's a great unifier. I mean, when you work with somebody for the first time, you've never worked with them before, and you walk on set and you're dealing with a problem that you've frankly had to deal with before.
Yep.
And you're both looking at each other going, how'd you do it on the last one? Oh, I did it this way. Oh, I did it on this. Okay,
let's try it this way. Okay, let's try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. And you've been on sets, I know, as well as I have, where you're in the minority of you speak English. You know, So it's people from Japan, from Korea, maybe Mexico. Maybe.
Yeah, we've done workshops.
Yes, yes.
We've done workshops with a bunch of gentlemen from Japan.
Yes,
and we had a translator
exactly.
on set.
With
and we
Robert
had to-
Starling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think we got a question here. Go ahead.
So this question's from Sandra, and she asks, what is it about educating others about the business and the media industry, lighting, etc., that appeals to you so much?
Oh, boy.
Want me to take a stab at it?
Well, let me answer this because I think there's something that I really want to say to people. And I'm actually feeling sort of this thing right now that is, it's coming to fruition. I have Onset University, and that's a subscription-based education site. So most of my materials right now, it won't always be in this ratio, but most of my materials right now are are about business, are about the business of you being a freelancer. And how do you position yourself in this industry, which to the view of it from an individual is like, how does this work? People are getting phone calls and running all over. There's no central spot you go into. You just get this job because you know that guy, and this job because you know the other person, and somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who called you, you know. So all of that, it seems so random. Well, what I have tried to do is organize that from a point of view, my point of view, as somebody who started later in the business, got up and had to figure out how you get phone calls to go to work. And there's a reason for that. The reason is until you know how to get yourself on set and meet people who are also on set, which are the only people whom are going to call you to be on set in the future, until you understand how that works and you position yourself to get on set, it doesn't matter if you want to light. It doesn't matter if you want to do audio. It doesn't matter if you want to be at the DP. You're not going to do it until you get on set. So the most important thing, the first thing that I teach is how to position yourself, how to network, and how to become a leader. And this is everything. This is everything. I could put anybody in this business. I could take anybody off the street, drive through Costco, wherever. I could take them, and I could get them in the business for a couple years. And they would make some money for a couple years. But unless they want to really learn what's going on, and of course, this is always with the backdrop, you know your stuff. The first stuff you know is how to get on set and stay on set and keep getting on set. That's number one.
Sure, because if you have the right energy, you could know much less than the next guy. But if you have the right energy, the right attitude, the right drive, you're going to get calls over people
you and
who know
I
five
have
times
seen
as much
it
as
on
you.
almost every set we've been called on.
It's a personality game.
It makes a difference who you are. It makes a difference how you act. It makes a difference how you support your contemporaries. Very, very big time, you know. And that is why I go that way first, because it's much more important for you to think of yourself in a 20-year career cycle than it is about, hey, am I going to get a job next week? Am I working with this guy tomorrow? Am I doing this? You know, you have to look at this business as a 20-year cycle. And the only way you stay in for 20 years is leadership and providing it. And being a leader and understanding what that means. And being a leader means you take care of your people. This is huge. You take care of the people that are around you. You take care of the people that are on the set. I'll give you just an example. I go on set. The first thing I do is I introduce myself to every department head, then the PAs, because those are the first guys I want on my team. I want that PA to know my name. I want him to know what I'm doing. And the first thing I ask that PA is, hey, I'm Burnie. I'm the gaffer here. We've got, this is my crew. We've got everything on set. Let me know if I can help you. Okay, I say that to the PA. Let me know if I can help you. Because from that moment on, 90% of the time, that PA is coming to me first if he has a question, if he wants to know something, and I've immediately bonded with him, and you know, we're working together then.
Yeah, and actually in communications, one of the fastest way to build a bond between two people is to have them ask you to do something. So like, you know, you ask them like, hey, can I help you?
Yeah.
And when they give you a task to do or you help them out, it builds bond way faster.
Very fast, very fast. And that is the most important thing that you can do, and that is part of leadership. You know, if you're a director of photography, and I think this is something that gets lost a lot of times on camera, a true director of photography runs a department. They run that department, and in that department they have their ACs, they have their electrics, they have their grips, they, you know, obviously gaffer and key grip, you know, and operator, absolutely. But that's that job of that that director of photography, to look out for his people. From right down to the swing grip who has just came on, maybe he's been on set 6 months or so, you know, right up to the operator and to be able, and I'm not saying that carry their water or carry their problems to production, but he makes sure his department is being taken care of. I think that's something we're losing a little bit, you know. A lot of times, guys, I don't think there's so much business going on. So many people are coming from so many different backgrounds. They don't look at that. They don't look and think, hey, wait, I'm a leader here. I'm the head of a department.
Yeah, there's a definite lack of self-expectation.
Yes.
And for every single thing that a producer or a client that's hiring you expects of you, you should expect things back from them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess sort of in a nutshell, my passion for education is this, is I've made so many mistakes myself. I've seen so many other people make mistakes, that what I want to do is to help you overcome some of the really obvious glaring ones. You're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about
Plenty of them.
Plenty of them. Plenty of them. But you're going to come back, and you're going to come back stronger, and you're going to have much more of a career. So education is everything. So that's why I teach your freelance career first, and how to build yourself as a leader, and how to promote yourself, and how to network. Without those things, it does not matter what you want to do. You will not be able to do them until people have you on set.
Yeah, and I think when you reach the top of the ladder, the first thing you should always do is lay down on your stomach and help people come back up on the ladder. You know?
Absolutely.
I don't even think it's an education thing. I think if you're successful, you have a responsibility to help other people be successful.
Well, you know what, Nick? That is so profound, and I truly mean that, because it really is the way. You know, I was lucky to be older when I came into the business, because when I came into the business, what I saw were a lot of people in my like business and stuff like that, and stuff. And it was a cat fight. Oh, I want that job. Oh, you got that job. That's my client. You stole him. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just all BS, okay? That is all BS. Let me tell you something truly, right from the heart, right to this. Absolutely no one on earth can steal a client, okay? No one on earth can steal a client. You can only lose a client. And if you have lost a client to somebody else, if it was over money, then you never really had the client, because they were $100 away from leaving you until the next guy came.
Sure, and then at that point, you don't want that client.
And you don't want that client. If it's all based on money, what good does it do you? You're just $100 away from losing them. But more likely, the client wanted to lose you because there was something that they didn't like and they were having a problem with, and they didn't want to or couldn't verbalize it to you to change. And it was easier just to go somewhere else, you know? And maybe that problem could have been any number of things. Maybe somebody on your crew that you always brought with you, they didn't like. Maybe they really weren't as happy with the quality of your work last time. Maybe you came in and did a really super job, and then the next few times, maybe mediocre. And there could be a lot of reasons for that. However, they decided to make a change. So, and I'm going to get back to this. We're going to go to break right now, but I want to come back to a little bit of this. All right, we'll see you then.
Burnie's workshop is fantastic. Burnie's workshop is awesome. Burnie's workshop is insightful.
Burnie, in one word, passionate maybe. You can tell he really cares a lot.
Burnie is a badass.
He's a great teacher. He has great stories, and I would recommend this to anyone. Not only someone like me who's starting day one, but I feel that in any profession, as you sharpen your sword, it always gets sharper.
I think the best thing about this is the access to understanding how to run your business, how to actually be in this filmmaking industry and make money at it. Coming to this workshop, I think, is what actually gets you the tools to understand how to do that, how to get out there and sell yourself.
I thought that was really cool. I thought, he knows all the tricks in the book, and he knows how to show that to us and actually demonstrate it so we actually know what he's talking about.
I really like the hands-on experience. That's something that you don't find a lot. That's something you have to go on set a lot to just appreciate.
I know this is lighting seminar, but it's not only talk about lightings. He also share his business experience, personal experience, and guide us to what we should do, what kind of personality we should have in this business.
His stories, I think that they kind of say everything in a few example stories that he gives out from time to time.
I would recommend this workshop to anybody who just brand into the industry, people who just don't know the swing of it. A lot of this stuff they don't teach you in film school.
I deal with a lot of freelancers every day, a lot of peers that I went to school with, a lot of professionals in the field, and they all need to take this class because it puts you on the next level, on the next playing field.
Burnie's a great guy. Burnie's really authentic. Like everything he learns, everything he teaches, the way he handles himself, the way he deals with other people. He's a one-of-a-kind guy, someone I've never come across before in the industry, and someone I hope to emulate and hope that there are more people like him out there that can help.
Onset University is the place where you'll learn how to build your business. On our site, you'll find hours of information that you can use immediately. No matter where you're at in your career, you can use these strategies to grow your business. Also, I'll show you how to use social media to boost your business in a big way. What I teach are real-world, practical solutions to make you successful. Join our community at Onset University. Hey everybody, how you doing? We are back and at it. So just want to let you know, Bill, I will start referring to camera A. Thank you. But I just, on this show only, I learned that was camera A. So there you go.
He doesn't want to leave me out.
That is awesome. I know one question came in for Nick, and it was how did you learn live stream from Josh of all people?
Yeah, Josh of Media Stream Partners.
Yeah, okay. Well, we don't have to give him a plug. That is $25 too. Invoices in the mail already. But let me ask you this: how did you get your start? Because you're very typical of a demographic out there right now.
And sure, I mean, are you talking about my start, like all the way from the beginning?
Well, I know you were born,
streaming?
so we'll skip all that part. How did you get into the business?
Yeah, it's funny. My good friend Travis Thomas here, he's doing audio.
You know what? Stop right there. Let's introduce everybody at the desk. Travis Thomas doing audio. Okay, Hunter Rogers on Switch. And we got Tony Hope sitting in too at the desk. So there's a good one. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I in high school, I didn't actually have any interest in the arts. I wanted to go into law or the medical field or something, And
nice of yourself to put in that category too. You've been paying attention to me. I like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to be way smarter than I was, but I wasn't.
Actually, it was brain surgery or gaffer. Well, I love lighting.
yeah. Well, no, and so Travis Thomas actually told me that, hey, there's this really great media class that's going on, and I started taking it. And then one weekend I was shooting, and the next weekend I was shooting, and we would do our own projects. And then a weekend after that I was shooting, and then it's been 7 years, and I'm still shooting. So it's just something that fell into it. And I went to Saddleback Community College over here. Great professor, Charlie Myers. He's been on the show before.
Right, been a guest.
They have a fantastic program. I mean, just absolutely, because on the first day they hand you a camera and they go shoot something. We'll tell you what's wrong with it. And when you come back, you've shot something, and they tell you what's wrong with it, and you go and you do it again, and you keep doing that till you get good at it. Because like any good apprenticeship, and this really is like one of those industries where apprenticeships make sense, is that you just got to go out and do it. If you want to get better at it, you have to do it. It's kind of an oxymoron.
You have to touch it, and you have to make the mistakes.
Yeah. And one day I was, getting ready for a shoot, and I ran into a really great producer, Jonathan Neubauer, who brought me over here to this stage actually, and I ended up PAing for them for a long time. And on the first,
and I was on
on the first shoot that I ever worked on, Burnie was on that one, and he introduced himself to me in his very typical fashion. You know, what can I do for you? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think at that time I just told you to do something, though. I think I went right straight to like, here, do
go
this.
grab this, go grab this. I'm like, you could pay my bills. I don't know, but yeah. And then I ended up, you know, meeting a lot of different people through there, including, you know, guys like Chris Rich, Josh from Media, from Media Stream Partners.
Kirsch.
And I came from a narrative background, but, you know, did a lot of commercial stuff, and that's what I mostly do now. And then I ended up streaming for those guys at Media Stream, and been doing that for a good 2 years now.
And that's where you learn live stream.
Yeah, you know, that's where I learned live stream on a variety of, you know, cool events, just kind of different projects and stuff.
Yeah, I remember Nick on. I guess I probably don't laser down and remember the exact first shoot you were on with me, but I remember the group of them back then, and you know, Nick had a strategy for getting in that is very effective, and it's worked. It worked on me, and it worked on other people who I've known. He was a PA the other PA was a really lazy PA. So Nick, no matter what he did, looked like gold. So I only had really one choice. So I'd ask Nick, hey, do you want a PA for us over on this shoot on Wednesday? Or so, oh yeah, I'd love to. You know, so very good moves. But you know,
yeah, I would like to say that I made it in the industry because of hard work and effort and all of those things.
I just
it was really because I surrounded myself with bad people.
It's back to the old thing: is like you only have to be as faster than the next guy who the bear is chasing.
Yeah, the bear's chasing. Yeah. Just trip him.
That's it. But you know, it is so funny how many guys that I've seen, just, you know, you not guilty of this by any means, but have lost opportunity after opportunity because they sit on set and wait for someone to tell them what to do. That is the kiss of death. That is the kiss of death.
Well, and that's the education that they get. What do they do? They sit at home and they watch, you know, behind the scenes stuff all the time. So they're used to sitting and watching on a set instead of engaging.
Yeah, you're not the director there. You're not doing anything that is probably creative at that moment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You need to go look at the garbage. Look at the craft service table. Grab a broom. Hell, just stand there with a broom. You know what I mean? That's not a bad thing. When I was starting off, and I had an advantage in being my age, because I was, like I said, the $50 a day PA at 40, you know. I learned that really quick. You listen to the DP, you listen to the director, you keep your eye on the producer and see if they're having any problems, see if they need anything, and you're servicing that group. Also, I'm listening to the gaffer. I remember the first time that I think this actually made a difference in my career, that I had been on set maybe 10 times, maybe 6 times, I can't remember. And I remember I heard the director and the DP talking, and I was just close enough to hear it. He goes, I don't know, he goes, maybe we need an Applebox. So I took that, I went out to the truck, they were stacked by the truck, I grabbed a full, a half, a quarter, and a pancake, tucked them under my arms, came walking back in, went up till, I don't know if it was the key grip or just a grip at that time. I put the boxes down. I go, I think they're going to need these. Exactly at that second, the DP goes, hey, can I get a half apple over here? And he just looks at me, grabs it, and runs it in. There you go. So, God, that was fast. That was quick. You know, I didn't run it in. He did, you know. But that was the key. Then that guy, who did he call the next time there was a thing? He called me not as a PA, but he called me as a swing.
Yeah.
He says, look, can you swing for me? It's like, I don't know, $200. I thought I was in heaven, you know. But made it, that was the start. That's how you do it.
Yeah, and I'm a camera assistant, you know, by trade. That's what I do most of the time. And being ahead of the curve is the main point. You know, you don't think that you're saving a minute or two by having a battery on you or having a card on you or being ready with the slate or having things, you know, just ready ahead of time, but listening and having that mind to be prepared before you need to be prepared, that saves hours of time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's going to make a production either go smoothly or really rough.
Right.
And it's your choice. I mean, you just have to be in the game, prepared, ready to go, or out of it.
And anybody, no matter what you're doing, your guys on set and stuff like that, you can be talking back and forth a little bit, have a little fun, a little joke here and there. Never take your mind off of what's going on set. You should be very aware. Are we running into a roadblock here? Is there something holding up production? What can we do? How do I disperse my guys to get ready for the next scene? How do you do all of that? That's really the important keys that you can do, because the client doesn't have to, once again, it goes back to the individual. The director, the producer, they don't have time to go to you and say, well, what can we do to make this go? They don't have time to think for you. You have to think for them. And that's the way it works.
Well, and they've come to you because you have the answers. You're the expert. You should know how to do things, even when you don't.
That's why I get the call. I know that. That's why I get the call, is because people know that I have people who can solve problems, or if I'm on set, I can solve them myself. But they know I don't skimp on anybody when I send them out. These are proven people who've done it for years, and they can solve problems for the client.
Yeah.
That's what's so important. And I just look at that, and I think it time and time again. Let me just give you some sort of gauge too. And I think, and we're back down, I think we started out talking about why I interview the people that I interview on the show. And it comes down to this. I'm 66 years old now, okay? And I'm on fire, all right? I'm on fire. I'll just tell you that. This is a young man's game. This is a game for guys Nick's age, not my age. The only reason that I'm on fire is because I kick ass. And I kick ass every chance that I can, okay? And I put guys out who kick ass. And if you're not ready to get on set and kick ass, you should not be there. You should be selling them insurance or something.
Well, and you should want to.
And you should want to.
At the end of the day, you either love this or you're not in this.
Yeah.
This doesn't work for people who just don't have the passion for it.
And it does not work if you're just spending time waiting to go to somewhere else. Get where you're going. Don't hang out here. Okay, there's a lot of people out here that want to make this work. And this is the quickest business, too, to, like, you just get washed out. If you don't do the job, you
Burned
get washed out fast. Nobody fires you. You fire yourself.
Yeah, you know, and one of the most valuable things that I ever had in my entire career were people who were willing to walk up to me and say, you messed up. Because most of the time they don't. They just go, they won't call you again.
Next.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're wondering why you have no work.
You know what? Let's, before it gets too late, let's talk about the folks we've had on here. I just want to give them a little shout out. Do you have a piece of paper? Okay, 5 minutes left. Wow.
I know, fast. It's not with me, but I have the list.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Awesome.
Travis is getting on. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, first show we ever did was with Greg Flores. We had him twice, actually.
Yes.
Fantastic,
grip support. Yeah, Greg is my hero.
We've had Roland Kanimar on here.
Roland Kanimar.
Silver Dream Factory, fantastic.
Yes, Silver Dream Factory, awesome.
Bill Wiles, absolutely incredible producer.
Solid player.
Yeah, I mentioned before we had Charlie Myers on here, the professor at Saddleback.
Yep.
Liz, actually we've had
Liz Irvin.
Yeah,
yes,
Liz
Locations.
Irvin we had on here.
Absolutely, that was a
fantastic.
fascinating show.
Kevin Allen. Actually,
Kevin Allen, yeah, and didn't we have? I know we had my buddy.
Yeah, we had Jeff Granberry on here as well.
Well, yeah, but we had. Forgive me for not remembering your name right now because I'm going to say it here in just a second. Ed Gott.
Oh yeah, we have had Ed Gott.
Ed Gott was on the radio show, infomercial, and you know, Ed was somebody that I had people come up and say, "Oh, what does he do in production?" You know what I mean? Well, a lot. I mean, Ed has actually hired me to do a lot of productions and stuff. But Ed is very interesting. He has a testing company for infomercial products. And it was something I had him on because I was so fascinated about that process and all of the hidden jobs and industries that are within media, things you don't think about. I had never thought about somebody starting a company to test products that you could get them verified and then comply with the FDA. You know, that was fascinating to me.
Yeah, I didn't even imagine it was that involved.
No, I didn't either. Either. Who else? Who else have we had?
Yeah, Manuel Carrillo. We've had him on here. Fantastic guy. He does a lot of car stuff. Bill Hoshevnikov.
Oh, great.
He was great.
My mentor. Yeah.
We remoted him in. And then Jeff Granberry, of course.
Jeff's
fantastic.
super guy.
Just this last week, we did Rob Hart.
Rob Hart, that was a fascinating show. I hope you'll check that out. That is really good. Rob is a genius and a funny guy, too. It's a great show.
Very, very much a character, yeah. Amanda Eckel from Airstar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, that was a great show.
Yeah, we've had Mike Kirsch as well.
Mike Kirsch,
Yeah.
yep, Mike
He's actually
Kirsch.
here today,
Yeah,
just a couple
the
minutes ago.
mystery show, that Mike Kirsch's show. You know, this is a good one to talk about. We got to get going here. We've filled up that hour that we didn't
Surprised.
think we could. Yeah. But Mike Kirsch's show, we shot it. It went out live. That was fine. But it had a problem loading to Facebook. So there was a problem. We could never figure out what it was. The show said it was live for like 172 hours, almost a week it was still live. And then we could never bring it back up. Well, we had it in camera. So we had the show, you know. So what I did is I took that show, which was fascinating, and it was really
Fantastic
down
show.
just to the stuff we're talking about now. It was really down to that about work and getting work and all that. I put that on Onset University for members only. So that's one that isn't out there. And we're going to do that, and I think it's worth announcing now. We are going to do reruns of shows for the next 2 weeks. And when we come back, we're going to be in a different studio, and we're going to do a slightly different show. I think we're going to do, and this has all been experimentation, and this is what we've come up with, I'm going to do a half-hour show of Burnie's Applebox, just like we normally do, and then we're going to shoot another half-hour show right after that with the same guest for members only of Onset University. And then in that second show, that's when we'll really get down and name names and do things and give a lot of insider tips about your career and how you work. So, yeah, I think, is there anything else?
Any more questions?
Any more questions? No more questions. Okay, well, this would be a good time. Everybody, I just want to thank the most important people that we've had in this show, and that's you, all the awesome people who have watched it. I mean, we've got up
From
to
all
like,
over the world.
Yeah, nearly 5,000 views on some of the shows, and a lot of them are in the 3,000, close to 4,000 range here. And it's really been mind-boggling, and so many people have contacted me since I've been doing this. Go, God, we love Applebox. It's so great you're doing that. You know, can I be on? And to which mostly I said yes, you know. But it's been really great. So we're not going anywhere. Next couple of weeks are going to be reruns, and then we're coming back in a whole new little format here, probably a half-hour format, which I think might be a little more intense and a little better to watch.
A little more succinct.
A little more succinct, I think so. So for right now, thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Bernie.
All right, buddy, thanks for everything. Thank you, guys at the table. Travis, Tony, Hunter, thanks, guys. And thank you out there, and we'll see you back live in a couple weeks. Cut. That's a wrap.